Thank you everyone who's present over here and my esteemed co-panelists. Uh, the topic obviously is digital payments infrastructure, and we have guests from the banking fraternity as well as the state government fraternity as well over here. The way I would like to, conduct this discussion would be into 3 or 4 broad segments. When we talk about digital payments infrastructure, the first thing that comes to my mind, because it's a very broad topic, as we all know, because of the right mix, I believe, that we have over here in this panel from the banking community as well as the government community, it is a good chance for the 5 of us to bring some light between and bridge the gap between digital vision and actual execution on the ground, and how that gap can be overcome, and how basically we can make things easier for digital payments infrastructure to flourish, particularly in this particular region. So having said that, begin the discussion with, I would like to say that the way I see digital payments infrastructure is broadly divided into 2 parts, because it's a very, very open topic. One is the soft part, and the other is the hard part of infrastructure. The hard part everybody is familiar with. It boils down to electricity. It boils down to telcos providing connectivity and touch points, access points, etc. within region. The soft part is also very challenging. The soft part basically is, the way I see it, is learning and education, overcoming language barriers. There is a huge reluctance, as some people have called reluctance. Many people have digital reluctance also, especially in rural India and the deeper districts in India, so on and so forth. So coming to my first question, I would like to throw this out to the panel, and please feel free to take this. What, at your experience or from your point of view, have you seen on the ground, broadly talking about the challenges in digital payments infrastructure, and how, from your organization point of view, have you seen a way to address it? So I think, Amitabh, we can begin with you, if it's all right.
I think good afternoon, everybody. My name is Amitabh Datta. I am part of Yes Bank, and I take care of the transaction digital banking part. So again, Chaitanya, we met today morning only, yes, and I've been meeting his team. He's part of NPCI. So the question, I think, is very, very relevant as a bank from inception. Almost 18 years back, we've been very, very bullish and robust about the digital infrastructure. And with support from regulators, RBI, followed by NPCI, we've been doing a lot of work on the digital side. Very importantly, what we face, to answer his question, the bigger challenge is to reach to the right people and the right part. I think what is important now, because we have, I think, NPCI, with support from NPCI, RBI, I think everyone has reached a stage where we know what is happening, we know the spending pattern, we know the entire community, what people are doing, correct? So we have the data. I think, as they say, data is the new oil. So with that, I think it's very important to reach out people with data. As in, once we talk about the urban part only, we should not forget the rural part. And as the data shows that there are a lot of huge use of data, primarily in India, in the rural part. While we talk about data, I'm sure they're using banking part also. So in my segment, we handle cooperative banks and cooperative societies, correct? So sir is from Assam Grameen Bank. So we work with a lot of banks as far as cooperative departments in Northeast also. And we have seen there is a huge pull as far as understanding how to implement digital side of the whole banking system. So that way, I think more and more, if we start using the data, what we are getting, in using that data to what we can do in the market, and how can we use that data to get more and more customers onboarded. Now with ULI coming, with unified lending, I think it's a big area where we understand the pattern of use. Now we can lend basis that. So that is one area I think we can work on.
So, Amitav, thanks for your insights. One thing I would like definitely Devashish sir and Sanjay sir to put some more light on before I come ahead is because you particularly sir deals with the information security side of things in a big way, and because Assam Grameen Bank is more connected to the rural fabric in West Bengal, I would like you gentlemen to probably discuss some soft challenges that are seen on the ground and what hinders digital payment infrastructure uptake in these particular areas. Some of your insights would be very valuable.
Thank you, Mr. Chaitanya. First of all, my gratitude to Shardia for inviting me in this forum and giving this opportunity. Now, I am from Assam Grameen Bank, and totally, as you were telling, that I am connected with the rural people. And the soft challenges which you are actually asking from my side, there are so many angles. First of all is the language issue, because most of our UPI platforms till now are in the English-based. So here, the now generative AI with the NLP should play a major role for hindering this language.
Yeah.
Second thing is that our gentry is not mostly in vulnerable and semi-literate. So they cannot do in self-service model. Because right now we are actually shifting from our old trinity of JAM to our new trinity of JAM, ULI and UPI, Unified Lending Interface, which is being started by Reserve Bank of India on a pilot basis. And we should be on more credit oriented, because already 99.5% of our household are having a banking outlet in everywhere of India, where the inhabitant is more than 500 plus. So the thing is that they are not in a position to work as a self-service model, so we need some assister for helping them to do their banking exercise in the digital platform. Sure. There are two challenges. Everyone is clamoring about the cyber security, etc., which is actually predominantly a domain area of the knowledge experts who are doing to fraud through hacking or something. But there is another area who will be doing the assist mode. They can misguide the semi-literate and vulnerable people, and all our DPDP rules and everything, whatever digital platforms we are building based on consent based. So they will be simply taking the OTP and putting in their app to provide that the consent has been given, but the people may not understand it properly. So there is also a very huge challenge to the local people and semi-literate poor people. So we need to we need to devise some procedures, because people procedures are the counterpart of the total system. So we need to make some robust procedure to protect these vulnerable people from these things.
Some very critical points, sir. Some very critical points. I think that is a huge gap that needs to be addressed in the long run. But yes, opening up a conversation about these points in itself is the first step towards trying to bridge that particular challenge. Sanjay sir, I would like you to have your take on the challenges regarding information security and the reluctance to adopt and venture into the OpenStack environment for people who want to step onto digital platforms.
I'd like to just go back and refer to the address of Secretary Information Technology and Electronics of the state, Mr. Shubhanjan Das. He mentioned in the earlier session that we should have this financial literacy or financial awareness included in the curriculum. So he mentioned about bringing it into the throes of undergraduate, postgraduate level in the final years. I would rather be a little bit adventurous. I would say that as most of the rural India witness people having average educational qualification ranging between 10th and 12th. So that very, financial literacy or education or awareness should come in the schools also. Because if that is so, then you can make them understand the necessity of sharing only the relatable and required data. Because the basis of information security lies on data security triad. What is that? Need to know, need to retain, need to archive. So if I know the data that I am sharing will be used for a purpose that the person across the table is asking for, then I will share. In most of the cases, even in most of the banking cases, sir would definitely weight my deliberation, that in the form I would immediately refer to that, like there is a date of birth and then age as on day, this day. Why? If someone is putting the date of birth, automatically the remaining thing will be calculated. It is called redundant data collection. The more you collect redundant data, the onus of safekeeping comes upon you, because you are the data fiduciary. I am the data principal. So you should collect only the data that you require as the banker. And I have also the responsibility of asking you, why are you taking my data? Just let us be little bit adventurous, because it is a FinTech program. What is the necessity of knowing my father's name when I am keeping my money in your bank?
Absolutely.
Just tell me. What is the necessity of finding out my spouse's name when I am keeping my money in your bank? I am not taking money from you. I am not flying away. Why? See, there are two things that you want. One is authentication, another is validation. Authentication is done through a document that you submit. Today, when you came into this room, you signed outside. What did you show as your authentication? You said you are Sanjay Kumar Das, and they believed it. And even if you show a document, until and unless it is third party validated, what is the necessity? So when you are validating somebody using Aadhaar or something such things, why are you trying to find out n number of data in the CAF, Common Application Form? These are redundant data, my friends, and as soon as you start collecting redundant data, the responsibility lies on you to safekeep, as it is as far as DPDP Act is concerned. So, need to know, collect the data that you want or require, and let us give us the authority to ask you, why are you asking this data? Need to retain, keep the data until the necessity demands. As soon as it is over, delete it, erase it, inform us. And need to archive, if you really want it for posterity's sake, like audit or some other purpose, put it behind a proper veil, that is all sorts of security requirements. So there should be a third party verification and validation allowed. It should not be you. You should not be the judge, jury and executioner. Along with that, bring this awareness into the school curriculum, and we have a very robust financial backbone in our rural economy.
So thank you, sir. So very valid points from you as well. So I would like to come to you, sir, and I want to tie this particular point, taking on from what Devashish sir said and Mr. Sanjay sir said, from an academic point of view. I think, especially with the DPDP Act that has come into place, I think obviously from what Sanjay sir said, that there is a probably requirement for a watered down version of the DPDP Act to be inculcated into the curriculum. And also one more point I want your opinion on is that how can now that we know that this is the challenge, hand-holding, assisted learning and assistance is required, especially in rural communities. how can a state like West Bengal or even the different states in Northeast incentivize or draw businesses towards credit, or how can they basically encourage them to gear up and come into this payment ecosystem, or even the digitized ecosystem, so that they can contribute more and consequently they can find new markets for their particular businesses? So a few thoughts, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. At the outset, I would like to say thanks and gratitude to SAIARD for giving me an opportunity to interact with all of you in this August gathering. I belongs from the oldest management institute in the Southeast Asia, that is Indian Institute of Social Welfare Business Management. And this institute teaches the finance management from the long decade. And as said by the inaugural one speaker, Mr. Das, about the inclusion of this subject, and my earlier speaker has also insisted that this subject should be in the curriculum since the undergraduate. This is already in the postgraduate, in the management level courses. So what makes the difference in the academic system to understand this subject? Because nowadays, digital infrastructures payment is one of the most critical things that we need to understand, because with a one click, we invest money, we transfer money to one end. So what we at ISWBM is doing in understanding this subject, I have written some narratives on that angle. Sir, when we talk about management education today, we usually speak about strategy, finance marketing, and the leadership. However, there is a one silent force reshaping all these areas, that is called digital infrastructures, especially digital payment infrastructures, where payments are no longer just a financial activity happening in the background, they become a strategic foundation on which modern economics and business operate. And at ISWBM, in nowadays, you can see we develop managers, we develop various startup enterprises, we develop incubation cell. If you see in under UGC curriculum, as per the AICT norm, each and every institute has given a task to develop, say, incubation cells, or where startup bodies are coming, they can showcase your things and they try to understand that how these things can be marketable. So nowadays, our managers is not only understanding the finance part, but they are also working on the ground to develop some kind of their own startup bodies, do business, and make the foundational structure very robust. So on that angle, why digital payment matters to managers? We are talking the financial part in a way that when these managers be in the market, how they play a strong role in understanding and reshaping the structure of the digital payment. So from the management perspective, digital payment infrastructure directly influence how fast business operate, how effectively capital moves, and how customers experiences. So that means managers today are not just managing products or peoples, they are managing system powered by digital transaction. So if we say that why, I have written some of the things that what are the skills needed for the future's managers in this present day of context. So future managers must develop system thinking, digital literacy, and understanding how technology interact with the policy and the society. They must be comfortable working with a data-driven platform, managing digital risk, and designing inclusive business strategies. Digital payment infrastructure is a powerful case study that connects technology with leadership, strategy, and social responsibility. So that means when we teach finance to those grads who coming to our institute, we not only teach the mathematics of the financial system, rather than we teach how the technology, and as earlier inaugural speaker said, that how can we integrate intelligent quotient or emotional quotient into the system, so that the data that our earlier speaker says, the redundant data can be easily washed out, and the data which is very important in the system should give some kind of meaningful senses. Thank you so much, sir.
Yep. Thank you. That is a wonderful initiative. I think incubations, centers with universities go a long way in, educating new business entrepreneurs and even students and drawing them towards business. So Amitabh ji, I would like to have your contribution on that particular topic from a credit point of view. Like I was mentioning to sir earlier, that how can we get more and more new businesses towards this particular digital fintech ecosystem from an innovation point of view, and what are your experiences in drawing and dealing with businesses and drawing them towards the digital white economy, as we say. So a few of your experiences regarding bringing businesses in, new businesses in, and nurturing them like they do in their incubation unit. Some of your experiences will help so that from a policy standpoint and for the sake of our audience over here, we would be in a good position to understand what banks face as challenges in dealing with small businesses.
So since I think most of the panelists are from East, the first and foremost, as sir was mentioning, the first thing, maybe I've been in banking for the last almost 20, 25 years. The first thing was to bring a customer to a bank. That was the challenge at some point in time. But over a period of time, I think banks also realized that there is a limitation to the infrastructure. So we need to, it's not that push the customer out of the bank, but to tell them that do banking from your home. That is number one. Number two is to give him those kind of infrastructures which helps them to do banking whenever they opt to open up kind of 24/7 banking, what we say today, correct? Second thing is while we do that, like for example, COVID was a learning, I think, for all of us, and especially for bankers.
True.
It was a big learning where people started, and especially in East, where there is still a reluctance to go to a digital platform in spite of UPI, NPCI, everything put together. First, to bring a person, especially corporate, since I take care of the wholesale banking side, to a net banking platform, which is the simplest form ideally in a banking platform where you have all your, from a savings as well as a current account, to get them onto a net banking platform. So once you get into a net banking platform, that opens up the door for you as an individual and a corporate, where a bank comes to know that what are these transactions. Thanks to RBI data also, which has been provided to the bank, where we know that what kind of data, what kind of lending opportunities are there in that customer, and how to digitize that. So that openness has also come in the market, where it is still a challenge. Since I travel extensively in Northeast of Bihar, Jharkhand and Odisha, it is still a challenge, but at the same time, people are now open to various ideas, and as sir was saying, there are certain data which are redundant, but at the same time, again, it is to the regulator who to reduce those things from our forms. We are happy to do away. Actually, frankly speaking, as bankers also, it's very difficult to understand why we take that, but in case those are reduced. But I think customers are now forthcomingly coming to the bank, and especially rural segment also. They're asking for dynamic QRs, they're asking for QRs. They are going to the last mile and they are taking care of this thing. So I don't think it's a challenge, but as sir said, literacy on how to use that
Absolutely.
is the most difficult part, because not everybody is as this thing, and so they are knowing unknowingly there are people or there are groups who are misutilizing this particular, you might say, information or this thing for and duping somebody. That is still there, which is a challenge, which still is they are feeling that why should I come, because there is a possibility of some fraud happening, and I'm sure RBI faces it day in and day out. So that way, yeah.
Thank you. Debashish sir, one quick point I would like to ask you, especially because your bank and your position, in your position, you're more connected to rural businesses. One thing I would just like to reiterate is that what typically in your experience do you see are the challenges faced by rural businesses who want to make it big? What do you see as a challenge mainly when people come to you, when businessmen come to you?
See, the idea topic of today is Vikshit Bharat, and for that we need to achieve at least 130% of the GDP, credit to GDP ratio, which is now 57%. And these can actually be achieved when there is a financial inclusion perspective and all our small MSE customers gets the adequate credits from the financial institutes. Now, till today, there is a big market is captured by the money lenders. Now, even though there is a nearby bank branch, the people go to the money lender. There is another aspect I would tell. The NBFC captures in this market is very well known. And we know that there is a usurious interest charged by the NBFC in this segment. The reason is very simple. There are two reasons. One is trust deficit with the banker. Though I am a banker, I am telling you. But why the trust deficit? Number one, they don't understand the languages of the banker. And the enormous documentation, which we actually, as per the RBI rule and banking rule, we are actually compelled them to do it. They are not.
I think this is where digitization can help in a big way. It can simplify and make the experience very smooth.
They need a smooth experience and prompt experience. Those are the two criteria, prompt and smooth, hassle-free. And in these two segments, this FinTech can do a major role, and FinTech will be doing in the very near future. It is already started, and its penetration will go more. And particularly with this DigiLocker and all these things, these documentation parts also will be hassle-free and smooth to them. Only thing they need to understand what they are doing. That financial awareness is required.
Absolutely. Some very valid points made over here. Before I go to the final segment of our discussion, I want to have a quick word basically regarding fostering a local fintech ecosystem. If we were to do that in the state of West Bengal and Northeast today, my question is to Surijit sir, who also oversees the incubation unit in University of Kolkata, and to policymakers, Mr. Sanjay sir over here, especially a quick comment from you. West Bengal, like Shri Das said, IT secretary earlier, that we have a Silicon Valley over here. It's good that he brought it out, because many people in the audience might not know who have traveled over here. So how can we create a corridor of innovation between all these businesses which are untapped in Northeast or even in Kolkata? How can we bring them to this particular area where they can get much more insight, they can get much more handholding, or they can even come to know that, look, there is a high level of policy support available from the state and state institutions as well as from universities who are out there to help. So my question to condense is mainly, how can we bring these people into this corridor of innovation so that the multiplier effect can start taking place? Any thoughts on this? A quick comment.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So if you think that the financial inclusion in the management educations and taking your components, that how can we bridge this fintech or bring entire thing in the ambit of the fintech of the business industry houses. In the recent time, the government of India, that is the Niti Aayog, and the SCBI, the Security Exchange things, so they have developed some kind of policies. That is, in our earlier times, we used to think climate as a climate change. Now the climate change has been moved to climate actions, and nowadays these two terminology has removed. Now the climate finance come into the system. Fine. So now if you go to any industry houses or business houses, every industry is looking at how we can manage the finance if some kind of calamity is happening in the near future in terms of the climate change or temperature changes or rises. So here is the role of FinTech. So if FinTech is approached to all those industries houses to secure their system, that means nowadays the business compliance is come as environmental social
Excellent
governance,
point.
ESG is coming. So that means all the environmental parts, all the social investment is come under the ambit of some kind of governance, that how the industry is complying with the government policies and how they make themselves sustainable in terms of finance and the support of the insurance backup. So there is a high chance of the FinTech to capture on that ground that how the industry should be protected with some kind of risk-driven system.
Excellent point.
So
Excellent
if we
point.
incorporate these things, I understand that there is a high chance of this kind of platform to showcase their powerfulness and their responsibility towards the society and towards the governance.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Sanjay,
you.
sir, a quick word from you about this.
First of all, with regards to policy, as far as my knowledge goes, West Bengal government was the first to actually open up their secure data center for startups. As we speak, more than 15 startups have their web applications housed in West Bengal State Data Center. Because why not more? Because most of the startups, they actually consider security to be a pocket, to be stitched after you have worn your jacket. So as security is an afterthought, and for any secured infrastructure in IT, it should be design thinking. So prerequisites are there. So all these, as it is open, as you can just right now log into our website of West Bengal State Data Center, and you will be given opportunity to apply for hosting your own website, if it is a business website. But there are many prerequisites with regards to security. So it actually opens up another can of worms. That means most of the startups and most of the small businesses, MSMEs, they do not consider security during their design thinking. So that is one thing you should address. Even in case of FinTech, that is a most important thing. So trust actually is built upon that, So next, another great initiative that West Bengal government was the first in the entire country to take in the year 2017 for, inclusive or assistive approach towards most of these solutions or web-based solutions, because they are friendly to all sorts of people, whosoever has some sort of difficulty, challenges. And not only that, they are W3C compliant, or GIGW compliant, Government of India guidelines on website compliant. So that is also one of the most important things. Last but not the least is, in order to fight with this menace of money lenders, they start the self-help groups. This initiative was there. So self-help group is nothing but another startup. So if self-help group receives, this loan from bank and also receives subvention from the government and then lends the money to others, then, the whole thing is lost.
So I think, sorry to interrupt you, Sanjay sir, you have tied the point very beautifully between banks and state policy.
So just I'm trying to actually, put all of you into this board that there should be a proper aggregation where startups, including fintechs, they receive very easy, legal support. Only money is not what is required. All these organizations, they receive secure hosting place, like computation facilities, just like Param, as well as security as a service. And all this, if you can provide on a platter to the startups, to fintech startups, to any startup for that matter, the whole scenario will be much more brighter even for the fintech applications. That is my thing. Yeah. So government has different types of policies, but you cannot have a formatting tool to actually straitjacket it.
True.
So it is based upon the necessity, and it differs from state to state. But most of the states, including the country, we have very good policies. We should come together and utilize them to the fullest.
Sure. So in the interest of time, I'm going to have one last kind of a lightning round question to each one of my co-panelists. But before I come to that question, because it's a short answer and a lightning round question, I want to summarize some of the points that came out during this discussion. I think obviously, especially with the advent of DPDP Act, and the importance of increasing awareness in education about digital transactions as well as fintech innovation is very important. Point number two, like Debashish sir has said, that it is very evident to all of us that still the assisted learning model or the assisted model is very much prevalent in the rural as well as in the urban sectors in India. So that is something that still needs to be overcome. A smooth experience to be given to citizens and to businesses is very much a gap that digital fintechs can fill up. Less paperwork and a smooth transition for businesses to come on board into the digital payments infrastructure. Self-help group points was also very important, and your points regarding credit were also very important that were brought out. So having said that, I want to go to each of my co-panelists over here. A short answer on this question to sum up the session. If you could change one specific thing, one specific hurdle, if you want to change one specific hurdle by tomorrow morning, what would you do to double the transaction volume in your state? If you had to change one thing to double the transaction volume in your state tomorrow morning, one infrastructure hurdle, or one challenge if you wanted to overcome as a wish list, what would you do?
Very good. From the education perspective or the management education perspective, the one line I can say is the controlling the entire value chain process. That means entering a raw material into the business house and the exit of the final product. This entire thing should be captured by a proper process of data-driven technology, so that where the major investment can be reduced or it can be restructured in such a way that the complete value chain process can be understood. So it is the value flow. So what I can say in the last word, that the managers in nowadays, not only they are responsible to look after the natural resource, but also the reshaping the entire value chain process.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Amitabaji, your quick contribution on what you could change.
I think I'll take a point from the point of view. Our country is, I think, one of the most young countries. So I think the first thing is to capture the guy at the initiation point when he's starting his maybe career. That is what can double the transactions, if you're talking about that, or double the volume of transactions, what is happening. And obviously, discouraging cash, which I'm sure at Government of India level also they are doing.
Yes.
RBI is coming up with CBDC. Once that is empaneled or kind of given to the banks, to pilot has already happened. So once that happens, I think that will be huge change.
Yes,
with UPI, ULI, CBDC, it will be a big change.
In
and
fact,
double
many
up.
states, just to interrupt you over there, many states are adopting CBDC in their DBT schemes, where they want to have a controlled dispersion of money for specific schemes to a targeted group.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I think one, government infrastructure or government spending getting into CBDC, and two, if you can kind of target that group of age group, where they're just starting on that literacy part. That these two other things. So.
Thank you. Debashish sir, over to you. One hurdle that you could overcome for tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I will suggest the financial literacy and digital literacy should be part of school course curriculum.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That is my only wish.
Yep. Thank you, sir. Sajjay sir?
At least 32 years have taught me that the thing between scale and no scale is trust. So if we want to double or triple or whatever it is, scale the number of transactions, we need to bring trust. And for trust to happen in case of money is my authority to bring that back. If I make a mistake, I should have an undo button. And that undo button, as soon as you tell everybody, I must tell, I'm sorry to tell you that, if you go to any place where they don't have good potable water, drinking water, you would see that all those who don't have quality potable water, they have Facebook. So digital literacy is not a problem per se. The important thing, at least most of you have not had your life started at the grassroots level like us. I have my career start at block development offices, so I know how people react. So trust is the moot point. In order to have that in financial parlance, so we need to have an undo button. If that is there, everybody will come immediately onto this.
Sure. Very, very important point. So I would like to bring this discussion to a close. I would like to thank my co-panelists for having a very engaging discussion and bringing out your experience and insights into this discussion. Hopefully, like I said at the beginning, hopefully this discussion was able to fill the gap between digital vision and execution challenges on the ground, which we basically used as a tone for this discussion. So thank you very much once again, and over to the next agenda item. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so I'd like to go for the felicitation. Now, I'd request Dr. Roy Choudhury to come up on stage and felicitate our guests for the panel. I'd like to request Dr. Roy Choudhury to felicitate Mr. Chaitanya Bal, in charge and head, State Government Relations, National Payments Corporation of India, Government of India. May I request Dr. Roy Choudhury to felicitate Mr. Debashish Gangopadhyay, Chairman, Assam Gramin Bank, Assam. I'd now request Dr. Roy Choudhury to felicitate Mr. Sanjay Kumar Das, WBC's Additional Secretary, Department of Science and Technology and Biotechnology and State Information Security Officer, Government of West Bengal. Choudhury to felicitate Mr. Amitabha Datta, Regional Head, Transaction Banking, Yes Bank. And finally, I'd like to request him to felicitate Professor Surojit Chakraborty, Assistant Professor, IIS WBM, University of Calcutta. Before going for the action track, let us just start a small address by Mr. Govinda Prasad Sharma, Secretary, Ministry of Forest and Environment, Government of Nepal. I'd like to request our technical team to connect him.
Thank you very much. Namaste everyone and good afternoon. So first of all, I would like to congratulate organizers for organizing this wonderful event and wish a grand success of the event. Actually, I was not very prepared because I just came to know today about this event, and but it is a very useful event. If we had known a bit earlier, we could also some of the participants could attend physically in the event. So basically, when we talk about this type of the innovations, because Nepal and India are quite interconnected and interrelated. Our farmers, our customers, our business persons, they are very working closely. So such type of intervention, such type of innovation platform definitely benefit to each and other country. When talking about the advantage and potential collaboration between India and Nepal, and also the issue we are working on this area. So when, I have some experiences of, I cannot share each and every component that the government of Nepal is taking initiative on this regard, particularly in economy and FinTech. But I would definitely share some of the success story, some of the attempts, some of the innovatives that we have carried in the Ministry of agriculture and livestock development. Now, at the moment, I'm working in the Ministry of Forest and Environment as secretary. But before that, I have been working in the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development for more than 30 years. So when we talk about these things, one of the initiative where we can, one of the area where we can apply this initiative is in the registration of the linking the for more than 2 million of the farmers, where more than 2 millions of the farmers have already digitally linked in our system. So we can better, and another initiative is the insurance, I mean the safeguarding the farmers from potential risk. We have more than 100,000 farmers. We have initiated, we have linked in the digital payment system, and government is providing the subsidy on the insurance through digital system. So completely digitalized insurance is operating in Nepal. Another approach is we are also working on the distribution of the chemical fertilizer, and particularly linking this management and distribution of the fertilizer through the digital platform. We talk about the how we can internalize in the Ministry of Forest and Environment. Definitely, we have one issue that tourists in Nepal are increasing. So if we can manage this type of ticket, where most of the people from the particularly India, South Asia, and other abroad, they come to Nepal for tourist purpose. So those category of people can be better served through these type of the services. And we are also working on this e-ticketing, and also the digital marketing of environmental and ecosystem services. And one better advantage where we can use this type of the FinTech services is on the to better benefit to the producer farmers, who can benefit much more by utilizing this type of the services. So this I would like to thank you very much to the organizer, and I would like to really congratulate you and wish a grand success of the. And I would like to expect some sort of 1 or 2 page outline or the dissemination of this workshop, dissemination of this platform, so that where we can develop some idea to work in the together in the future. Thank you, congratulations everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. So now we are going for our action track 2, focusing on FinTech for last mile connectivity and areas central to financial inclusions and grassroots empowerments. This session will be chaired by Mr. Brijesh Baishakir, DGM, Reserve Bank of India, Government of India. I'd like to request Mr. Brijesh Baishakir to come up on stage and take his seat. In this panel, we have with him Mr. Pranab Kumar Vishwas, DGM, Head Agriculture and FPO, UCO Bank. I'd like to request Mr. Pranab Kumar Vishwas to come up on stage and take his chair. Also, we have Mr. Mrinal Kanti De, General Manager, NABARD, West Bengal RO. I'd like to request sir to come up on stage. And we have Mr. Satyaki Nath, PCOM, Commercial and Operations, Kolkata Metro, Government of India. I'd like to request him to come up on stage. Mr. Satyaki Nath, PCOM, Commercial and Operations, Kolkata Metro, Government of India. In between, what we can do is we can present a short video from the latest initiative from National Payments Corporation of India, which is our RuPay credit card can be linked to UPI. I'd like to request our technical team to play the video, please.
UPI users can link their RuPay credit card account to any UPI app and make payments through their credit card account by simply scanning a UPI QR code. Once linked, the user can pay at any merchant just like a regular UPI transaction. But the amount is debited from their credit card account instead of a bank account. This makes credit usage easier, faster, and fully digital. No need to carry the physical card. The user just needs to enter their UPI PIN to complete the payment. This feature is only for merchant payments. RuPay CC on UPI can also be used to set up autopay. It gives users the flexibility of credit with the convenience of UPI and helps more merchants accept credit payments using just a QR code. Link your RuPay credit card to UPI now.
Thank you so much, technical team. As Mr. Satyakinath, PCOM Commercial and Operations, Kolkata Metro Government of India, has joined us, I now request Mr. Brijesh Baishak here, DGM Reserve Bank of India, to proceed this session. So kindly take the chair.
Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, distinguished panelists, guests, very good afternoon to all of you. And this is a great opportunity for all of us to discuss FinTech for last mile connectivity. I think there cannot be more appropriate or contemporary topic than this when today we are talking about FinTech in every walk of life, particularly wherever there is a discussion on banking. FinTech is now something which comes default. So to set the context that how we are going to proceed with it, I have three panelists here with me today. So we will be taking some questions pertaining to their own areas, and we will ask them the questions. We will have 2-3 rounds of questions, and if there are some of the initiatives which Reserve Bank of India also is doing for fostering innovation, that also I would add as and when I find opportune time. So basically, if you see, technology has been central to the financial services since long. We all know that how we have been using the NEFT, RTGS, account aggregator, P2P, TREDS platform. Many initiatives have been taken by Reserve Bank of India in past. And we have been pioneering technology, and the idea is always to reach the last mile, to make life easy, to make customer is central to all the initiatives of Reserve Bank of India. So, but the whole idea is financial inclusion. How we can reach out to the last mile customer, how we can reach out to the unserved population of the country, underserved population of the country. We are talking about the revolution in the digital payment system, but how we can reach out to those segment of the society who do not have a smartphone, how to reach out to that segment of the society which do not use mobile data till date. Around 40 crore population of this country are still working on that feature phone today. So how this digitization journey is going to benefit them. We also want to ponder over the thought that whether the digitization is also bringing in a type of exclusion for a particular segment of the society. And what is that segment? The differently abled people. Are the innovation taking care of the needs of the differently able population of the society also? So these are some of the questions which we need to basically ponder, and we need to find answer if we actually want to make this FinTech as last mile connectivity. So this is something which is central to the topic today. So I would start with my panelists here. So actually 5 panelists were there. Now we are left with 3, and including me. So we have, I would just request one line of introduction from all of you.
Yeah. A very good afternoon to every one of you. I am Pranab Kumar Biswas. I head agriculture, financial inclusion and government business in UCO Bank. And our bank is stationed with its headquarters at Calcutta. And this portfolio, which I am handling since last almost 8 months, is a very great experience in this field. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Mrinal Kanti De, General Manager, NABARD. And you must be knowing NABARD is headquartered at Mumbai, and we have got regional offices. And it's the only organization where it's a slim organization of 3,500 staff, but we have got presence in all districts. So I am now heading some of the departments in Kolkata Regional Office.
Good afternoon. I am Satyaki Nath. I am Principal Chief Operation Manager, Metro Rail Kolkata. I am not from the financial domain or financial area. In financial area, they will be talking about billions and trillions. I don't know how many zeros, billions, perhaps 9 zeros and trillion, maybe billion zeros. My zeros are only about passenger carrying. So we carry about 8 lakh passengers a day in Kolkata, and which constitutes about, say, 8% of the trips that are undertaken in Calcutta per day. And as you know that Indian life is inextricably linked to cricket. So in cricketing parlance, I would say that we have already crossed 50, we have already scored half century. That is, we are now operating 73 kilometers. And God forbid, in a couple of years, we will also score century. Another 70 kilometers is under construction. So in a couple of years, we will hopefully score a century. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So if you see the composition of the panelists today, one is from the regulator of the banking sector. The other one is a supervisor of the regional rural banks and district central cooperative banks. The third one is a commercial banker who is a regulated entity. And the Metro Rail, basically, they are one of the major players who are actually using the fintechs in a big way. So these things will come out in the panel discussion. So I now call upon Sri Pranab Kumar Vishwas, DGM from UCO Bank. So basically, sir, the role of fintech in addressing the credit needs of the agriculture sector is significant and multifaceted, which includes easy access to credit, insurance, and risk mitigation. Fintech plays a very vital role in transforming the agriculture sector by enhancing financial inclusion, improving access to credit, and supporting sustainable practices. And West Bengal, particularly being a agriculture-dominated area, so Burdwan is called the rice bowl of the state. So your thoughts on this, that how fintech can facilitate this sector particularly?
Thank you, sir. As a commercial banker, I have been dealing with people and since last 22 years. During this phase, what I saw, a day was there when everything was mechanical. People had to walk to a branch to get their financial transactions done. They had to wait for the long queues so that their turn comes to withdraw their money. To deposit also, they had to take the same pain. Even to update the passbook, the same queue was there. So it was a total manual kind of thing. Even with the computerization in the during this 1980s, I think, 80s, 85s, when it started, banks were adopting it on gradually. And then finally, 2006, 5-6 onwards, the core system have started penetrating in. Then starts the actual game, what is fintech doing. When the core system came in, all the data were digitized, all the records were digitized, and people were having all the track of their transactions. Gradually, the demand from the people started coming that I want to see each and everything in my own hand. I want my transactions to be done sitting in my own seat. I don't want to come to your bank. I don't want to go for the long queues. And then start the necessity is the innovation. And gradually the things started innovating. It all started with the savings account, then gradually percolated to the loan accounts. And then finally, it started studying the customer behaviors, and based on that, even the loan offerings have also gone into fintechs. Now, how these fintechs are playing the role and how it is reaching to the last mile. Here, last mile does not mean that it's a geographical mile or something like this. It means reaching to the poorest of poor. It started in 2014 when PMJDY account started coming in. The total financial inclusion started. Government have given a thrust with PMJDY. Everybody started having one account, and with that one account, gradually it started developing. DBTs, which was earlier considered as one of the most rarest thing, transferring money from the government to and reaching it till the last mile, it was never possible. It was coming up to the halfway only. But then with this PMJDY coming in and the financial inclusion taking place into root deep, today all the DBTs and everything is highly digitized. Even a single rupee is not disbursed or not sent in physical mode. It starts from the center and it reaches to the common public just in one click. So in my bank also, over the period, we have also developed our products in the same line. Our loan products have also been improvised in the same line. Today, even a SHG lady can opt for a loan through STP, that is straight-through processing. Today, she doesn't need to come to a branch. Earlier, I saw the days when for renewing one SHG, 10 ladies were coming with all their kids and they were coming at 8 o'clock, 8:30, sitting whole through the day just for renewing their loan. It was nothing but just their physical presence was required. But today, they need not come. Today, somebody needs a KCC, he also does not need to come to branch. He uploads all his records and he gets a loan. RBIH portal that is given by Reserve Bank Innovation Hub is one of the great things. The ULIs provided by the regulator has helped us to reach to the common people and get their accounts sitting at our own place and they being sitting at their own place. So,
video regarding ULI.
Yes. So, I think the regulators, commercial bankers, today all of us have come together and we have created a history in the world in terms of fintechs. Today, 10,000 fintechs are functioning all over India, and believe me or not, in near future, we believe at least this figure to be double by 2030. Thank you.
So, just 2 points to what Sir said. One is regarding the DBT. He said that it is completely digital and it is directly from the center or the state government. It directly reaches out to the end user or the beneficiaries. But now we have moved a step further, and this step forward is basically completely transformational and it is unique in the world. Now we are using the central bank digital currency issued by Reserve Bank of India, which is the digital form of our own fiat currency. And that programmability feature which has been introduced through this central bank digital currency, that is being leveraged by many of the states to program the targeted audience of these DBTs. So going beyond just passing on the DBT directly to the customers, now the central bank digital currencies are programmed so that the end user can use it for the purpose for which these have been given. And regarding the ULI, after this round, I will be showing one video that will give you a comprehensive understanding that how loan journeys have been, is reaching the last mile customers and how it is transforming the credit journey of the country. So now moving on to Mr. Mrinal Kanti De. So sir, financial services have emerged as a key drivers to socio-economic developments, particularly in remote regions where availability of official monetary services is limited. NABARD serves a crucial role in bridging this gap by fostering institutional support, enhancing financial literacy, and promoting the integration of technology with rural banking. So I request you to let us know that what work is being done by NABARD in areas such as self-help group, bank linkage program, joint liability group, and other such initiatives.
Thank you. First of all, let me thank the organizer, SAIARD, for inviting NABARD in this good discussion point. Now coming back to my question, what NABARD is doing. If you expand NABARD National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So rural development, agriculture, both are there. And if you are talking about last mile connectivity, I think NABARD is in the forefront. The RBI friend, he has mentioned that it is a self-help group. The self-help group started in 1992, almost three and a half decades old, and that has really connected 12 crore families. And now we have got 1.2 crore SHGs, and NABARD was one of the pioneers in developing this concept. That time, really bankers were difficult, like it was difficult for the banks to reach to the last mile. So this model was developed where 10 or 15 women members will come together, they'll go to the bank, they'll open an account, and the SHGs will operate on that with the bank. So that concept really gave a very boost to the government, and now government has accepted that model, and now it has been taken as self-help group model in NRLM. You must be knowing NRLM is the world's largest livelihood program. So that way, SHG has given really a good impetus in reaching to the rural masses. Now coming to the digitization part, even in SHGs also, NABARD has tried a lot of digital intervention. We had challenges because of illiteracy, especially digital illiteracy. So what we had developed is one eShakti portal was developed, where SHGs themselves can keep their accounts. They can keep their account through their mobile. We had difficulty, definitely we had difficulty, but when we showed them that this can be done by a semi-literate or illiterate lady member also. And you will be surprised that now we are thinking that these SHG women cannot save, but the quantum of saving, I'm not sure about the figure, but around 30,000 crore savings are there with the SHGs now. So it is a very big figure. So that way it has given real leverage to the total banking system. One more area where SHGs, beyond SHGs is the JLG, Joint Liability Group, where saving is not required, where farmers who are not having land, where they don't have anything to give as a collateral. So they 4, 5, 6, that individuals can come together and they can form a joint liability group. That concept also gave very individuals to approach the bank and take credit that way. And this model was also accepted by various NBFCs or MFIs for extending loan to the needy farmer or needy entrepreneurs. One more concept which really gave last 10 years, it has really given an impetus, is the farmer producers organization. Now our farmers, individually if they work, they cannot be really a very good entrepreneur because they are smallholders. Our farmers are all smallholders. So once they come together, they join hand, 500, 600, 700 farmers, if they join hand and form a farmers collective, they can reap benefit from the banking system, they can reap benefit in the marketing, and they can also do away with the middlemen. That is the most important part. One small survey says that if you are purchasing a cauliflower of rupees 30, a farmer is getting only 10 rupees. So that means another 20 rupees is going to the all middlemen. जिसको हम लोग फोड़ेदार बोलते हैं, आड़तिया बोलते हैं. It goes to them. So that our objective should be that farmers should get 20 and another 10 can go to the other agencies. So that way farmers producers organization has also given a lot of benefit to the farmers. I think we'll end here and
Sir,
I'll come to the...
Would you touch upon the new initiatives of NABARD like EKCC portal and CDCI portal?
So one more area just I wanted to say that we have got around 14 crore farmers, of which we could cover with around 11.5 crore with KCC, Kisan Credit Card. And Kisan Credit Card is a instrument where farmers get a very loan at a very concessional rate. Government is subventing it. Even bankers are also coming forward in giving loan. Now this KCC is again a physical. A farmer has to travel to the bank and then take the loan. Now we have come out with the eKCC, where farmers can, in their mobile, they can apply for KCC, and the entire process can be like bankers or any PACs can assess that, and they can disburse the loan through portal only. So that is the advantage now is coming because of the digital.
We'll see the details of that. So sir, now moving on to Satyaki sir. So sir, rail connects all and literally is the last mile connectivity in physical sense. So metro rail is definitely a new way of life for all Indians. Now we have more than 20 cities wherein metro rail is there. So the intersection of metro rail with FinTech in India is currently defined by massive digital transformation aiming to make urban transit faster and contactless, like more accessible through advanced financial technology. So National Common Mobility Card and the different type of tickets which we are issuing to make the life of customers easy. Because we all remember those earlier, we used to purchase one ticket and then we used to push it to the machine. But now those are things of the past. And these changes have been brought in only by the use of FinTech. So I would request Satyaki sir to tell us more about these FinTech initiatives to make the life of urban travelers easy.
I will start with, we are talking about numbers. And so it occurred to me what my master Sri Ramakrishna said. He said, if you put a zero after zero, it doesn't make any difference. You go on adding zero, the situation will not change. When will the situation change? I put a 1 before the zeros, and suddenly the situation will change. Now, what is this 1 in our case? The answer you can find what the disciple of Ramakrishna said, Swami Vivekananda. Our scripture says, Matri Devaya Bhavo, Pitri Devaya Bhavo, Acharya Devaya Bhavo, Atiti Devaya Bhavo. Swamiji said, added 2 things. What? Murkho Devaya Bhavo, Daridro Devaya Bhavo. That's what we have to address. We have to address our illiteracy, we have to address our ignorance, illiteracy, and the poverty. When these issues are getting addressed, people's purchasing power is improving, people's life quality is improving, more people have a smartphone. So automatically we are finding that 1 is appearing. Now more people are, in our case, using the digital form of ticketing. So that is happening. But still we have a long way to go. Last mile is far off to reach.
Yeah. So we discussed about unified lending interface. I would request our team, your technical team, to play a very short video that will give you a comprehensive understanding that what unified lending interface is and what are its capabilities.
India has taken long strides in digital transformation and has made remarkable progress in digital public infrastructure. A pilot for end-to-end digitalization of small-ticket agricultural loans, that is, Kisan Credit Card loans, was conducted, leveraging digital land record database, data from credit information companies, Aadhaar and other integrations. This pilot led to reduction in turnaround time for Kisan Credit Card loans from weeks to few minutes, and material drop in operational costs incurred by farmers. This digital pilot for Kisan Credit Card loans was replicated for dairy loan in Gujarat for lending to dairy farmers based on milk pouring data. There was, however, separate linkages for every lender with each information provider that made the process complex and costly. To address these challenges, Reserve Bank conceptualized the Unified Lending Interface. The ULI, built with plug-and-play approach, serves as a centralized gateway to ensure access to information from various data sources digitally. This obviates the need for multiple bilateral integration of lenders with each information provider, like state governments, Aadhaar, satellite data, account aggregator, transliteration, milk pouring data, and others, thereby reducing operational cost materially for lenders. Customers get frictionless credit through such integration with efficiency in terms of cost and turnaround time. The ULI enables seamless lending process through their integrated loan origination systems, enhancing efficiency in terms of cost, convenience, and quicker disbursement. The Reserve Bank launched the pilot of the ULI on August 17, 2023, with the first phase focusing on Kisan credit card loans, dairy loans, MSME loans, personal loans, and home loans through participating banks. ULI presently enables linkage with over 100 data services, including GSTN, Aadhaar eKYC, Aadhaar e-signing, PAN verification, account aggregation, e-stamping, satellite data, document verification, etc. by providing over 130 APIs from the platform. Using the APIs from the ULI, over 2.3 million loans amounting to more than 1.24 trillion have been disbursed in the last 2 years. ULI presently facilitates 12 loan journeys, and the scope continues to expand as more products, data service providers, and lenders are getting integrated. Customers of regional rural banks and district central cooperative banks are also able to access frictionless credit through integration of NABARD's eKCC portal with ULI. Work is also underway to integrate key digital datasets for central and state government. What next? Transitioning ULI to a business-to-customer B2C model, allowing direct access to customers through mobile and web applications. This will transform ULI into a dynamic marketplace, promoting financial inclusion and expanding market opportunities. Welcome to the future of seamless and frictionless credit.
So this was the video on the ULI, which gives the concept of what ULI is. And since we are discussing the FinTech for last mile connectivity, this is one futuristic vision of Reserve Bank of India, in which NABARD is also collaborating and bringing this digital journey of KCC disbursement within a matter of 5 to 7 minutes. That is the power of this ULI. We are already integrated with the land records of 11 states of the country. We are also in talks with the state of West Bengal. So this is an approach that the loan journey, KCC journey, which normally takes 2 to 3 weeks of time and minimum 2 to 3 visit of the customer to the branch, that is all done away with in this journey. And it is a completely STP journey, sitting at the comfort of home, 24/7. This journey is being made available in 11 states of the country. And we are collaborating with our NABARD to bring it to the benefit of the customers who are banking with the RRBs, customers who are banking with the DCCBs. So these are some of the new initiatives in this direction. So now moving on to the next round. So basically, sir, digital financial services are critical to serving India's large population, not only in terms of number, but geographically also. Yet rising instances of digital frauds, that is a concern for all of us. That is something we need to guard, that how these digital frauds can be, mitigation measures can be brought in. Because if this continues, the digitization which is happening in the country, if the people lose faith in this, then it will be very difficult. Because if we actually want to financially include the population of the country, digitization is the only way forward. But trust is something which is central to all those measures. Otherwise, it will be difficult to bring in. So, what needs to be done from various stakeholders, right, from the regulators, law enforcement agencies, by the bankers, by the public, what needs to be done?
I think one round we should discuss on this, because ultimately this is something which is concerning the public, which is concerning the last mile. Sir, your thoughts on this?
Thank you, sir. As a banker, in fact, for UCO Bank, we write that honoring your trust. So for me, banking totally lies on trust only. And if a the trust between the banker and the customer does not remain, I think it will not be a fruitful banking. People will move away. So to establish the trust, first of all, the customer who has approached me or who is keeping his assets or liabilities with me, it is our duty, first of all, to educate those people, to make them aware that if any such situation arises, what steps he or she should take on immediate basis and how bank will help him. How regulator is there to check on all the aspects and to put a stop to it. How cybercrime department is there to proactively address those issues and bring back her money or his money. So these are some things which inbuilds the trust in the customer, that today if something happens also, somebody is there at the back of me. Today, if you see in the payment terms, I think more than 40%, 50% payments have gone digital. So with this digital, some miscreants also are coming in. They are using telephone operations. Even AI is also fostering them as their friends or relatives or something, imitating their voices. So many things are happening. So as a bank, first of all, as I said, education plays a major role. Along with education, I am also scrutinizing my databases. My regular effort is this: no such accounts will be opened in my account, in my bank, who are supporting this kind of digital frauds. So to do that, we have transaction monitoring system, we have mule hunters, we have so many things. So all these things, I think our regulator will be speaking a little bit in details. But what I mean to say is this. Today, along with regulator and Government of India, we have implemented so many checkpoints that if somebody wants to do a digital fraud also, it gets stopped at one point of time. Means it may move one or two legs, but it cannot move further. Things has to be stopped at that line only. So regular education through FLCs. These FLCs have played a major role in my rural areas. They are nothing but they have been promoted by our regulators only. And they have been reaching to the poorest of poor and making them understand that what is digital transactions and how things can be protected if some digital fraud takes place. So FLCs, bank correspondents, they have played a major role in creating this digital awareness. So I strongly believe awareness plays a major role in stopping all these things. Along with that, yes, we as a banker, we are putting all checks and bounds to stop such kind of nuisance. I think,
Sir, your views.
I really endorse the views of Mr. Biswas. And also in the previous session, our chairman, Assam Gramin Bank, also told the same thing, that digital literacy is a major, and we need to put in the school curriculum also some financial literacy part. That is also very important. Now we have to bring them, the small kids also, that they should be aware of. Because I have seen now in the villages, I have extensively visited the villages, I have seen that the parents, they learn from their kids about their operation of mobile, how UPI payment is done and all this. So introducing financial literacy in the school is very much important. What NABARD is doing is, in association with the Reserve Bank of India under Financial Inclusion Fund, we have set up many financial literacy centers. And also through our DDMs, through our LDMs also, we are conducting digital financial literacy camp at various Pada level, at hamlet level, at village level. So that really gives a very good inputs to the villages how they should be equipped to handle such digital frauds. And from bankers' point of view, what we are doing is that now we have got cooperative setup also. You must be knowing. Primary Agriculture Cooperative Societies, PACs, we call it PACs. Now they are also playing a very big role in banking. Now in that system, they are not really, they are not computerized, first of all, and we are trying to put that system so that they can be operated in a computer system, and also we are trying to build the computer literacy in case of cyber security also in that PAC system. So in both the things, from demand side and from the supply side, both the system, we should go like this, and then only we can manage this cyber fraud. Yes.
Sir, your views on this?
Actually, we are dealing with very small value transaction. Kolkata Metro is the cheapest, with 5 rupees being the minimum fare. So what we have been witness to is that the service we provide, the reliability of that is of paramount importance. We introduced mobile ticketing, and then there are cases of failed transaction. The person's money was getting deducted from his account, but the ticket was not generated. There are problem of mobile connectivity, mobile on the other side, on the bank side also payment gateway problems. So the numbers were not encouraging. The numbers of users were actually availing mobile ticketing. There are very few. People would rather stand in front of the booking queue up, and spend time rather than avail this. Now once we address the problem, the banking gateway improved, the network improved, the reliability improved, the number of failed transactions declined. Now I find that the numbers are steadily increasing. So reliability of the service is directly linked to the credibility of my service. So that is, I think, the most important in our case.
Yeah. Some perspective I'll just like to add from the regulator side. So if you see the total, there is a lot of talk about fraud these days, digital frauds. But we need to bifurcate the total universe of fraud which is taking place in the country. So around 77% of the frauds which is taking place in the country as per the statistics is mostly investment frauds. And the people, they in the garb of greed or anything else, they are investing money and ultimately they come to know that it was a fraud. And around 7 or to 8% is the digital arrest cases. So actually payment related fraud which is happening in the country is the 15% of the total universe which we talk. So basically the banking system is working towards addressing this 15%. Definitely digital frauds, one leg is that ultimately the fund is withdrawn from the bank in huge amount. Basically the senior citizens are being targeted and their whole life's incomes are being siphoned off by these fraudsters. So one leg is definitely banking there. So we are working on that also. But as you may be aware, that Mule Hunter is one solution which has been introduced by Reserve Bank of India, and now it is implemented in around 26 banks. So that is not the panacea of all the ills of the fraud, but definitely that is a major step taken by Reserve Bank of India. But now again, another aspect to this fraud is that multiple parties are involved. Mobile is involved. That means Telecom Regulatory Authority of India is involved. Then your banks are involved. So multiple, NPCI is involved. So multiple stakeholders are there. But good thing is now the government of India, state government, law enforcement agencies, Ministry of Home Affairs, a dedicated team called I4C, they all are working together to address this issue. And it is a frequent discussions and way forward which is being done. So basically we need to look in this direction that fraud is definitely happening, but we are also working towards how to manage this situation, because ultimately this is technology has its own pitfalls, and therefore we need to be proactive, work along with all the stakeholders, regulated entities. They are also required to follow the rules and regulations, so that say for example if mobile number gets changed, so that needs to be diligently removed from their databases. So due diligence process while opening the account, All those things, systems and procedures are in place, but still that is happening. But the ecosystem together, we are working towards addressing this challenge, and that too, so that the people should pose faith in the digital ecosystem, and they should continue to do this. And the issue of law enforcement agencies, they are taking it on their own. So now moving forward from here, so we were talking about this last mile connectivity, and fintechs are playing a major role. When these fintechs came into being, initially maybe some 8-10 years back, and 2008 was the watershed movement for fintechs, because at that time when financial crash happened, so fintech started emerging, and they started doing many of the jobs which otherwise the banks and the financial institutions were doing. So after that, when fintechs came into being, bankers particularly, they thought they are somebody who will compete with us. But if you see after 10-15 days, actually they are all collaborators. So they are collaborating with us, because for a banker, for a financial institution, balance sheet is the forte of the banker. Credit is their forte. But technology is not their forte. But now the banking is completely technology. So you need experts who are domain expert in their own way. But while doing this, banks are also required to keep in point that they are a completely regulated entity, and they have to manage all the situations. So while onboarding the fintechs, they need to take care their own, so that they follow the regulations. So I would request my colleague from the Union Bank, UCO Bank, that what are your take that while you onboard a fintech, what are the measures you take so that the trust of the system is maintained and your customer centricity is in focus?
Sir, I think while selecting a fintech and onboarding them, the credential plays a major role. A credential means over how many, it all starts as a startup. 2014 onwards, if we see, India is having almost 14,000 startups till today, and out of which 10,000 of them are fintechs. So we have fintechs for different activities, for loans, for customer behaviors, for deposits, for financial services, for data jumbling, data mining, AI, so many things. So fintechs today has gone right into the roots of every banking activities. Now, while selecting a fintech, it becomes very difficult for us sometimes that how much they know about us. So in such cases, what we have seen is this. These fintechs have a credential of 4 to 5 years in some banking industry or in some small financial organizations. So while providing the services, they have encountered so many problems, so many issues, and accordingly how they have been resolving those issues. That plays a very major role. So onboarding a fintech for us is a very challenging job, in fact, I would say, because it is very easy to take somebody in, the implication of which may be very huge. Today, a simple mistake from their side can cause a huge reputational loss, a huge financial loss for the particular organization. So we have a dedicated team who evaluates step-by-step processes, how a fintech should be onboarded. There is a standard time of adopting the fintech, putting it under UAT stage, then finally onboarding them for our production service. So we have a full-fledged team and process while onboarding these things. It's not very easy, and believe me or not, regulators also play a major role in that, because we need a lot of clearance from RBI, from NPCI, from IDRBT, so many areas. So they also evaluate at different stages how these fintechs are adapted. So I think I could say what commercial banks are doing, but I think regulators can say their perspective with that.
So one important job which Reserve Bank is doing apart from its other mandate on financial ecosystem, that is innovation facilitation. So a dedicated department called FinTech department was created in 2022 in the Reserve Bank of India just to foster innovation. And the role and responsibility of this particular department, and this I am purposefully speaking in this forum, so that what are the initiatives which are being taken by Reserve Bank of India, which can benefit the fintechs of this part of the country, so that you can be aware of regarding this. So the FinTech department, one of the flagship program of the FinTech department is a regulatory sandbox. So basically, in our previous panel discussions also, we were talking about sandboxes. So every bank, mostly they have a sandbox in which they test new solutions, and then they come out with some new products and services. But the regulatory sandbox goes beyond that sandbox. Why? Because as we all know, finance is something which is a completely regulated activity. So you cannot do anything which is not permitted in the ecosystem. But regulatory sandbox gives you a forum wherein, for a testing purpose, you can get some regulatory relaxation. Something which is not allowed, that can also be tested in the sandbox. And that helps the product to be tested in a live environment. What are the pitfalls? What are the challenges? Is there any risk in it? All those things can be assessed during the testing phase. And once the testing is complete, based on the assessment which is done in the quantitative as well as qualitative manner, basically we say that this product has successfully came out of the regulatory sandbox. And once this certification is given to a product, basically by the Reserve Bank of India, then it becomes very easy for the regulated entities to onboard them, because the sanctity, the risk, all those things have been tested in the regulatory sandbox. So regulatory sandbox, we have been running a regulatory sandbox since 2019. Around 131 applications we have received in these 6-7 years, and out of that 21 have came out successful. So by this year number, you can understand that it's only about 20% of the testing which has been done was found to be successful. So it is under the guidance of the experts from the industry. And once they come out successful, we also connect them to the venture capitalists, we also connect them to the banks, so that they can just get onboarded. As sir was mentioning, it is difficult for the banks also to onboard a fintech entity because of the obvious reasons, because of the security concerns and all those things. But when it is showcased by the regulator, then it becomes easy for them. So similarly, we also conduct something called a hackathon, which is called Harbinger in our case. So basically, we pose some problem statements for the public, for the fintechs, that you come and solve this problem for the ecosystem. Once you solve this, first and foremost, that you get a satisfaction that you have developed a solution for a problem which is there in the ecosystem. And you also get a very handsome prize money for that. So since this year we are conducting the 4th hackathon, which is called Harbinger, and the prize money is 40 lakh rupees. And this is a global hackathon, and in which we call fintechs from across the globe, and they come and fight it out and they win. And once they are out of that, then they are tested in the regulatory sandbox. And once they are out of the regulatory sandbox, they find place in the banking ecosystem. So it's an end-to-end journey. And basically for developing their products, they also need funding. So venture capitalists, we also conduct a program called FinConnect. So through FinConnect, we connect them to the bankers as well as to the venture capitalists. So the funding requirement and deploying requirement, that is also taken care. So innovation facilitation is the primary responsibility of FinTech Department of Reserve Bank of India. And I welcome all the FinTechs of this part of the country to come and explore the opportunities that how you can test your solution and guided by the experts of the industry. So this is something. Basically, these fintechs are developing solutions, which is the last mile connectivity, the topic which we are discussing today. Now, moving to the last round of our session. Now, today in the morning, we were discussing about some innovation hub which has been created in West Bengal. I may be missing the exact term, but what are your expectations from the state government, that how state government can facilitate innovation of this part of the country so that their expertise can be brought in for the people to consume?
Prior to UCO Bank, I was associated with the RRB as a chairman, Paschim Banga Gramin Bank, for 3 years. So I had the opportunity to go around the state in threadbare. In fact, what I saw is this, that the SHG culture of this state is an excellent example to the rest of the India. And the state have done excellently well in promoting SHGs. But then the challenge came when the produce of SHG was not able to be marketed in a proper way. But the state government, addressing that issue, have come out with the solutions like ENAM, ONDC, and the integration of such kind of B2B and B2C websites with all the SHG ladies. Similarly, for this agriculturist, the Krishi app has played a very major role, forecasting the weather, forecasting the quality of the seeds, whatever is available in the states. So what I personally feel is this is just the starting which government have started. Enormous activities can be done in such a fashion to develop the roots. Once only the root is developed and through these innovation hubs, then the full financial inclusion will take place. And I would say that Bengal has immense potentiality in terms of financial inclusion. So many more things can be done, I think.
I particularly wanted to pose this question, presence of the senior official ACS sir present here. So basically, many of the states, they are developing their own blockchains, they are developing their own hubs, wherein they are incubating the fintechs. So basically, the fintechs of this part of the country, not only West Bengal, rather the Eastern India, so they can basically be incubated by the facilitation which can be provided by the state government. And once they come at a particular stage, then they can be hand-holded by the regulator, by the bankers to develop solutions which can be a thriving industry for this part of the country. Sir, your thoughts on this?
I don't have much idea about what that innovation fund, innovation hub is going to do, but this is latest initiative of government of West Bengal. They are calling it as climate finance hub. So that is also involving various technologies in encouraging climate finance into the banking system. Yes. That is one thing it is coming. And the second point which I wanted to mention is that NABARD is also promoting a lot of fintechs in the form of, we have a subsidiary called NAB Venture. So through venture capital funding, we are promoting fintech, not exactly fintech, we call it agri-fintech. So those who are developing some systems where farmers get the benefit. So agri-fintech, we have a lot of agri-fintechs have been developed. I'll name few, Satyukt, then Krishi Tantra, then there are many. I could locate to 3. So that way, we are also promoting that agri-fintech sector.
Sir, your views?
I am also not very, I do not have much idea about this FinTech hub. But yes, West Bengal government has also a Jatri Shati app, where we have Amar Kolkata Metro app. So we are in discussion that to integrate both the apps, so that ultimately the commuters must get, see today, nobody is interested in transport. You have to provide a logistics service, end-to-end service. So that kind of service will only be available. So we are in discussion, and very soon it may mature.
Yeah. So just to conclude, we had some thought-provoking session and 2-3 rounds of discussion on the last mile connectivity which the FinTech is providing. And one important aspect which again needs to be re-emphasized, that while the innovation is being done by the FinTechs also need to factor and consider that in the process of digitization, those differently abled people, they should not be left behind. So that is something we need to factor in all our innovation, so that the last mile connectivity which we are talking about, it should be truly inclusive in all sense. It should not only reach to the unserved and underserved, but it also should not exclude those who are differently abled. In fact, there is a Supreme Court case going on which says that any fintech solution which you are developing, it should necessarily have the capability of taking care of the needs of differently abled people. So we need to be sensitized of these issues, and definitely fintech is the way forward if we actually want to include the country completely, if we want to reach out to the length and breadth of the country, to the last person of the country, as Gandhiji used to say, the Gandhi's talisman. So basically, while developing any solution, we need to keep his talisman in view and develop it. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Yeah.
I'd request Dr. Rai Chaudhuri to felicitate our moderator, Mr. Brijesh Baishakhiar, DGM, Reserve Bank of India, Government of India. May I request Dr. Rai Chaudhuri to felicitate Mr. Pranab Kumar Biswas, DGM, Head Agriculture and FPO, UCO Bank. I request Dr. Rai Chaudhuri to felicitate Mr. Mrinal Kanti De, General Manager, NABARD, West Bengal, RO. Also, I'd like to request him to felicitate Mr. Shattoki Nath, PCOM, Commercial and Operations, Kolkata Metro, Government of India. I warmly invite all our speakers to please come forward and join us for a group photograph.